What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Oak Tree Football Channel, and welcome to another 2020 college football schedule breakdown and record prediction. Today, I'm going to be going over Vanderbilt's 2020 schedule, and I'm going to be making my prediction for them. This is actually the final SEC school to do. This is the final one, and then after that, I'll move on to Big Ten schools. Yes, this is the final school in the SC that I've not predicted yet, and in my opinion, it is probably the worst one. Vanderbilt is historically a pretty bad team. They haven't been great recently. I mean, they've made a few bowl games, but that's only barely making it in. They were pretty good in 2013. I believe they had 9 wins, but since that, it hasn't been great for them. The best they've had is like a 6-7 season. They just aren't great historically, and they really just are not good right now. They're coming up with 3-9 season, and they're losing their 2 best players, or a lot of their best players are losing, because including one of those players is running back Keyshawn Vaughn, who was actually a very good running back. He had over 1,000 rush yards last year. He was a lot of their offense, and now they really do not have that many big players that can really change the game on their offense. So it does not look like it'll be a good year for their offense, in my opinion. I think they have some pretty good players on defense that could make a big impact, but there are definitely some holes in that offense. There's just so many question marks. The quarterback position is a big question mark. It's just not sure. Like, Vanderbilt will most likely be a bad team this year. So with that being said, let's get into this prediction. Like I just said, they went 3-9 last year, and they had the 53rd best recruiting class in the country, which was worst in the SEC. They started off with a pretty easy game, though, where they have to play Mercer. This is one of the games I actually think they'll win this season. Obviously, it's not a conference game. This is 100% their easiest game of the season. It's a home game. It'll probably be close just due to the fact that they're going to have a lot of new starters and stuff, but I still think that Vanderbilt should win this game. So I do not think they will go 0-12. I think they'll win at least one game, and that game will be against Mercer, in my opinion. But week 2, they have a road game against Missouri. Now, in my opinion, Missouri definitely is not a top-tier SEC team. They're not that good, in my opinion. But they're not even close to as bad as Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is just so much worse than Missouri, and this is a home game for Missouri, so I really do not see Missouri having an issue. Vanderbilt should get defeated in this one. And then week 3, they have their second out-of-conference game where they play Kansas State. Kansas State's a very underrated team, in my opinion, a team that's not being talked about enough. They definitely have some good talent, and this is a road game for Vanderbilt, and this is going to be tough. I think Kansas State's better than Vanderbilt. It's a road game. I'm going to go with Kansas State. Week 4, they have an easier game again, where they play Colorado State. Colorado State isn't that good of a team. I believe they won 4 games last year. It's an out-of-conference game, obviously, for Vanderbilt, and it shouldn't be that tough, honestly. This is one of the other games I think they could actually win this year. It's a home game for them. Colorado State isn't that great. So this is one of the few games I could actually see them winning. I think it's possible they lose, but I think it's a safer bet that they will win in this one, just because they're at home. They're better. I do think they are better than Colorado State. They are not a good team. I really don't think so, but I do think they are better than Colorado State. So I think I'm going to go with Vanderbilt in this one. Week 5, no chance they win this game at Georgia. And I know that Georgia got upset last year against South Carolina, but South Carolina was not as bad as Vanderbilt, in my opinion, last year. And also, I think Georgia's going to be better this season. It's just, I don't think that Georgia's going to get upset this year. And if they do get upset, I do not think it'll be against Vanderbilt. Georgia has a lot of talent, in my opinion. One of the more talented teams in the SEC. And in my opinion, can be a playoff team, or at least a team that goes to a New Year's Six Bowl this year. They definitely have the talent to do so. Jamie Newman's a bit of a question mark, but I think he can be pretty good this year. I just think Georgia has too much talent to be a bad team this year, to be just average this year. They should absolutely destroy Vanderbilt here. This game should not even be close, in my opinion. Week 6, they play Ole Miss. This is one of the few in-conference games that they could win this year, because this is a home game for them, and Ole Miss is not great, but they are still pretty good, in my opinion. I really like Ole Miss this year, honestly. If Ole Miss plays how I expect them to, I don't expect Vanderbilt to win this game. But if Ole Miss is not as good as I think they will be this year, I think Vanderbilt could win, but because it is a home game for Vanderbilt, but I expect Ole Miss to be pretty good this year. I really like John Rice Plumlee as their quarterback. I think they do have some good talent, and I think they're pretty underrated. So I think Ole Miss should win this one pretty easily. Even though it's a home game for Vanderbilt, I mean, it can be maybe a bit close, but Ole Miss should definitely win in my opinion. Week 7, playing Kentucky. Kentucky, in my opinion, isn't necessarily one of the better teams in the SEC. Well, no, they're not. They are one of the better teams, but they're not in like the group of the best teams. In my opinion, the best teams in the SEC are Florida, Bama, Georgia, LSU, and then you can maybe say that Auburn or Texas A&M can go in there as well. But I don't think Kentucky is that good. But I definitely think Kentucky's a good team, definitely on the top half of SEC football. They're 100% better than Vanderbilt. This is a road game for Vanderbilt. I'm taking Kentucky here again. I cannot see Vanderbilt winning on the road against a pretty good team. I just don't see it happening, honestly. I'm definitely going to pick Kentucky in that one. Week 8, they have a bye week, and then in Week 9, they play South Carolina. This is the other kind of game that they could actually win in conference. They probably will not win it because I actually really like South Carolina this year. I think they're a pretty talented team. But this is a home game for Vanderbilt. They're coming off a bye week, but I still think South Carolina should win. I feel like this can be one of their closer in-conference games this season just because South Carolina isn't a great team. I like South Carolina this year, but I don't think they're anything special. And as a home game for Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt's coming off a bye week. So I think it's possible Vanderbilt makes this one close, but I do think South Carolina should win it. If they're gonna win an in-conference game this year, Vanderbilt, in my opinion, it will either be against Ole Miss or South Carolina. So I mean, if they're gonna win a in-conference game, maybe they'll win this one, but I just don't think so. I really don't think so. So Week 10, this is gonna be another tough one. Playing Florida. Florida, like I said earlier, is one of the best teams in the SEC, and this is a home game for Vanderbilt, but that really doesn't change anything in my opinion. It should be a huge win for Florida. Florida's just so much better with Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask is arguably the best quarterback in the SEC, and Kyle Pitts is arguably the best tight end in college football. There's so much talent. They are losing to C.J. Henderson, but they're getting a lot back, and it should be a win for Florida pretty easily. Week 11, they play on the road at Texas A&M. I don't really see them winning this one either. I really think Texas A&M will be a pretty good team this year. I do feel they are being a bit overrated by some people, but I still expect Texas A&M to be a very, very good team this year. And this is a road game for Vanderbilt. I just don't see it happening. Again, I really just cannot see Vanderbilt winning this one. I think Texas A&M is better than Vanderbilt. It's a road game for Vanderbilt. It just shouldn't really be close, honestly. Week 12, they play their final out-of-conference game against Louisiana Tech. Now, this one, they could win. I do think it's possible they win, but Louisiana Tech was pretty good last year, and I expect them to be good again this season. So I don't really think that Vanderbilt will win this one either. This is a home game for them. This is one of their few games this season that I could really see going either way. I feel they will beat Mercer and Colorado State, and I feel they'll probably lose all the other games. But Louisiana Tech, this is one of their only games I could see actually going either way. I definitely think it's possible that they win this one, Vanderbilt, but I also definitely think it's possible Louisiana Tech wins. I think I'm going to go with Louisiana Tech. I actually like Louisiana Tech. They were pretty good last year, and I think they can be pretty good again this season. So I'm going to pick Louisiana Tech. Would not be surprised if Vanderbilt wins, though. And then Week 13, they play Tennessee. It's a home game, but I just don't see it being close, honestly. Tennessee's a lot better than Vanderbilt, in my opinion. Unless they start randomly playing like they were at the start of last year, this game should not be close at all, and I'm definitely going to go with Tennessee. So, just based on what I just said, you can probably guess that I do not think Vanderbilt will be a good team this year. But now, as I always do, I'll go through every game once again. I'll give my prediction for I think will win. Week 1 against Mercer, I do think they will win this one. If they're going to win one game this season, I think it will be against Mercer. I think they'll lose to Missouri. I think they'll lose to Kansas State. And I'm going to pick them against Colorado State. I think they will win that game, but I don't think they'll win against Georgia. I think they'll lose to Ole Miss. I think they'll lose to Kentucky after their bye. I think they'll lose to South Carolina, lose to Florida, lose to Texas A&M. I think it's possible they beat Louisiana Tech, but I'm going to give them a loss. And then I think they'll lose to Tennessee to have a record of 2-10 on the year. I just don't think Vanderbilt's going to be good this year. The talent they have just does not compare to other SEC teams. It's definitely the least talented team in the SEC, in my opinion. And then they have some tough out-of-conference games. Like, they have 2 ones that I think they will win, Mercer and Colorado State. I think they will win those. But the other 2 are Louisiana Tech and Kansas State. Kansas State could be a seriously tough game, and Louisiana Tech is a pretty underrated team, pretty under the radar. So I just don't expect it to be a good season for Vanderbilt, in my opinion. And I really do not see them showing much. Worst case, probably 1-11. Best case, probably 4 wins. The other wins would probably be against Louisiana Tech, and then they split South Carolina and Ole Miss. But I just do not see it being a good year for Vanderbilt. I don't see them going to a bowl game. Yeah, so these are my thoughts on Vanderbilt for this year. What are your guys' thoughts? Tell me in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. And if you are new around here, feel free to subscribe for more daily NFL and college football content. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.